I have a really exciting announcement I want to make, and if you want to hear the announcement, do me a favor and just fast forward to that point, because what I have to say might be relevant to you, and if it is, then I would like you to contact me. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am currently pumping, so I'm trying to keep my body low right now. If you're new to my channel, my name is Megan, and I'm the mother to two wild children, one of which is over here screaming out the back door. Enjoy that soundtrack to this video. The reason I haven't filmed an update until now is because that's all he does all day long is scream, and everywhere I go he needs to be. Right now we are up to our eyeballs in leap 7, if you follow the Wonder Weeks, which is like the leap where they're super clingy and fussy, and like he will not leave my shadow. Literally, like, he needs to be within a meter of me at all times. So hopefully the screaming is kept to a minimum on this video, because I have a few things I want to talk about. First of all, I will say that last night he only woke up one time in 12 hours. And I know that, like, the first rule of Mom Club is to never talk about good baby sleep, because the second you do, it goes to shit the next day. But I don't even care. I want to scream from a rooftop that I got almost 10 hours of sleep last night, and I feel amazing. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to do a 10-month update, 10.5-month update for Sonder and I. For me, it will be a follow-up to my last video, which was a live pregnancy test, because I was having all kinds of crazy symptoms and I was having issues with my thyroid, so I have updates on that. And then I have a really exciting announcement I want to make, and if you want to hear the announcement, do me a favor and just fast forward to that point, because what I have to say might be relevant to you, and if it is, then I would like you to contact me. So but without further ado, 10.5 months. Sonder is walking full time. Like I said, he's going through leap 7. So he's super clingy and very, very fussy. He gets really upset with me when I go more than 3 feet away from him. So it's been interesting over here. But at the same time, I absolutely love it, because my daughter was never that way with me, and I always felt like I had missed out on some sort of relationship with her, because she has always been so fiercely independent, to the point of like not wanting us around very often. So I feel like I'm actually getting the full motherhood experience with Sonder, and I love it. I love when he wants to touch me and be held, and I love when he's like clinging to my leg and stuff like that. So I really try not to see it as an annoyance. Oh, he's eating a crayon. Sonder. The joys of having a toddler and a baby. Hi. So anyway, so that's pretty much his update. I don't know really what else to say. We've been sick for 7 weeks now, like nonstop. I'm coming down with probably strep throat or something like that right now, because it's pretty bad. So for his whole 9th month-ish, he was not doing good with eating. He was not drinking a lot of milk. He was also teething a lot, and was not eating much solids, and he ended up dropping off of his weight curve. So when we took him in for his 10-month appointment a week ago, he... At 9 months, he was 11.6 kilos, and then at 10 months, he was 10.8. So not only did he drop off of his weight curve, but he actually legitimately lost weight. But he has been eating up a storm this month ever since then, so I think his body is just kind of like trying to catch back up. And he was 73 centimeters. which is right on track for his height, and I think that's like, I think he's almost dead on average, maybe a hair above the average for boys his age. So he seems to be growing fine in that respect. He's very vocal. Still not saying any words, but he is focusing a lot more on mobility and fine motor skills. So the things he loves to do right now are he likes to take the lids of jars and try to put them on. He likes putting little objects into bigger objects. Like he loves having cups and putting things in it and shaking it around, taking it off, putting objects on the floor, putting a cup on top of them. He's so into throwing balls. He won't throw anything else, but the second you give him a ball, no matter what size it is, he'll throw it. He loves... Oh, this is going to be really obnoxious, you guys. I'm so sorry. This is the soundtrack of my life, and this is the part of motherhood that I really can't stand right now, is the constant banging and loud noise. Oh, this is going to be bad. He has a busy board that my mom sent my daughter when she was a year old. And it's like different doors. Like one is a key, you have to open it up with a key. One is a combo lock. One is like a press the buttons and the door opens. But it is so loud when he bangs it around. Anyway, he'll throw balls with you. So like we'll sit down on the ground and I'll throw a ball to him and then he'll pick it up and throw it to me. It's so sweet. So that's what he is into right now. No talking or anything like that though. As for me, so update on my last video, I got my thyroid results back. So if you did not watch my last video, a quick recap, I felt like something was completely off with my body. I was having a lot of symptoms that were increasingly getting worse. Fatigue, weight gain, bowel issues, what were my other main symptoms? I think it was mostly like the fatigue. Oh my gosh, and the mental fog, the brain fog. I could not think. So like between the brain fog and the fatigue was so bad that like I was having issues driving without wanting to fall asleep. Like I was pulling over multiple times when I was driving. It was not safe. I decided to go in and get my iron levels and my thyroid levels checked. I have Hashimoto's. I don't take medication for it because up until now my T4 and TSH were always within a normal range. So, but like 10 years ago I had a more advanced thyroid panel done. That's when I got diagnosed with Hashimoto's, and back then my levels were 80. I don't know what the units were, but anything above 0 was considered abnormal, and my levels were 80. So then, that was 10 years ago. So then I went in and I had a thyroid panel done, and my levels came back as my TSH was a 4.0, where the upper end of the normal range was 3.0. And then my T4, I misquoted this in my last video, my T4 was a 9.1, where the lower end of normal was 9.8. In my last video, I said it was like 0.3 or 0.7 or 1.7. Totally wrong. I don't know where I got those numbers. My brain was clearly not working. But anyway, it was below the normal range. So my doctor had me come in and do another blood test 6 weeks later, which was around the time I filmed my live pregnancy test. And the reason I took that was because I was also dealing with daily nausea all day long. For like weeks, I had been having that. And then I also had continuing symptoms where my hair started to fall out. My nails, all of my nails have cracked off. I've been having skin issues where my skin was super dry. And I'm sure I'm forgetting other things. Oh, I was having appetite issues where I was having very low appetite, which kind of went hand in hand with the nausea. So like all of these symptoms are so broad. They could have been explained by pregnancy. They could have been explained by just being a 36-year-old postpartum mom of 2 children, age 3 and under, who's breastfeeding and not sleeping well at night. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, it's gonna be so loud right now, you guys. He's got this stupid busy board and it's just banging it around. Anyway, or it could just be, I don't know, just normal. It's winter and it's getting dark and like my skin is drying out and my vitamin D levels are low. So who knows? Like there were such broad symptoms. So anyway, my blood test comes back and get this. So they tested my TPO, which is the thyroid peroxidase antibody, whatever. That's what tells you if you have Hashimoto's or not. They tested my T4 again and they tested my TSH. And my results came back, like I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on with my body. So my TPO, okay, you guys, like, should I even keep filming? Sander, look at him. Look at this busy board he has. He's just lugging this around. Sander, like you can put it down. It's time for him to go for a nap. Oh. It's time for him to nap right now. So I'm probably gonna have to stop filming for a second. But I will continue for the time being. So my TPO levels came back as 105. So that has progressively gotten worse from my test 10 years ago, but I think that's normal. I think that's how it's supposed to be, is it just is going to get worse as I get older. My T4 dropped down to an 8.7. So that also got worse since my test 6 weeks prior. I'm going to take my pump off now. But my TSH dropped to a 3.0. So now my TSH is back within normal range. And everything I Googled said, never like talked about a scenario where your TSH could be normal. By the way, you guys, like my milk supply has so epically increased. Hop onto my Instagram channel if you want to hear more about that, or maybe I can talk about it in a later video. Come baby. Oh, big boy. But nowhere online have I been able to like read about a scenario where your T4 is outside of the normal range, but your TSH is normal. So I have no idea what's going on. Like I was reading about like hypothyroidism is when your TSH is too high and your T4 is too low. You've got subclinical hypothyroidism, which is sort of like you're on your way, where your T4, your TSH is out of the normal range, but your T4 is still in the normal range. I think I have that combination correct. But nowhere do they talk about if your T4 is out of range, but your TSH is within range. So I got those blood tests results back before my doctor called me, and I'm like, oh my God, this sucks. He's gonna call me, I just know it. He's gonna call me and say, your like biochemistry is not bad enough, call us back in a year and we'll retest you. I just knew that's what was gonna happen. And sure enough, a couple days later, my doctor calls me and says, hey, so yeah, your TPO is crazy and your T4 is out of range, but your TSH is really all that matters. And since that's normal, call back in a year and schedule a blood test then, and we'll see what is up. And my heart just dropped because I knew something was wrong with my body. All of these symptoms I was having were getting worse. I ticked off every symptom on the box for hypothyroidism. And I have Hashimoto's and I like extensive family history of hypothyroidism. And I just knew that was the issue. So very politely, I asked my doctor, I'm like, look I have this family history. I obviously have Hashimoto's. I have all of these symptoms. Could it just be that maybe, even though my TSH is within normal range, maybe it's not like optimal for me and my body? So he said, well, hey, my friend is an endocrinologist and he just so happens to be in the building right now. Let me talk to him and we'll see what he has to say. And 2 days later, I got a letter in the mail from my doctor saying, you have a prescription called in to the pharmacy for thyroid medication. Let's start you on it now. And our goal is to get your TSH down to a 1.0. Right now it's a 3.0. Somewhere between a 3.0 and a 4.0. So it's a low level I'm only taking 25 micrograms. And I also read online that it can take 6 to 8 weeks for the medication to actually work and make you feel better. So I've been trying not to think about it because I don't want it to be just a placebo effect. But can I just tell you guys, I feel like $1,000,000. My energy levels are through the roof. My fatigue is gone. My mental brain fog is literally like 80% gone. I can now sit here and recall for you guys what I wore yesterday, what I ate yesterday. At work, I can remember emails I sent and questions I've asked colleagues. These are very basic functions that for me have gotten so progressively worse, just with like pregnancy and being a mother in general, but over the past 10 months have so progressively gotten worse that, I mean, you guys saw my live pregnancy test. I would be talking about something and then my mind would just go blank and I'd be like, what was I talking about? It was really bad. It's gotten so much better. My hair is still falling out. My nails are still chipping. My digestive system has gotten much better. And, but I weighed myself the day I started my medication. And I'm also incidentally doing a detox, like a clean eating detox where I'll get into another video, or I'm going to talk about that on my Instagram channel later because I want to do like a 30-day diet cleanup challenge before I start talking about my results. Oh my God, no! He was going to take this and bang it against our glass door. Oh, don't cry, honey. That was just... Oh, this little boy needs to go for a nap. But anyway, so what I'm about to say could be because of the fact that I've been cleaning up my diet over the past 10 days, or it could be because I've started this medication, but I have dropped within the first, let's see, it's what is today, November 12th? So within the first 9 days of taking my medication, I dropped 2 kilos. I'm holding on to 12 kilograms of weight that is totally unnatural for my body, and I don't have an explanation for why I'm holding on to it. Ow. And I dropped 2 kilograms in the first 9 days. So I would like to think that it's the medication working, but it could also just be that detox. My body's just cleaning out waste. Okay, I'm going to cut out this video. I'm going to put him down for a nap, and then I'm going to come back and talk about my announcement. So hang on. You want to say hi? Hi. Oh, wah, 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 wah. Oh, wah, 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 wah. Okay. So, my big announcement is that I don't know if you all remember a while ago when I had talked about wanting to start my own podcast, but I've started my own podcast. I am a podcast host. But my podcast is called the Birth Abroad Podcast, and I interview mommies who have given birth abroad, and we talk about everything from pregnancy stories to birth stories, fertility journeys, IVF stories, even the difficulties of going through pregnancy loss abroad. And with all of this as, how do I say, with the element of the pros and the cons and the challenges and like the really awesome things about going through all of this in different countries and how different systems around the world work and how they measure up to our expectations as birthing people. So, if you happen to be a mommy who has birthed abroad or gone through pregnancy abroad or gone through IVF treatments abroad or who has like a postpartum overseas story that you want to share, please reach out to me. You can either leave me a comment below, you can find my podcast on like in all the places, but on Instagram at the Birth Abroad Podcast. You can email me at thebirthabroadpodcast@gmail.com. My podcast is listed on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Acast, Castbox, Podbean. I'm even starting to upload the audio here on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel for it called the Birth Abroad Podcast, so you can find some of my episodes there. I just need to purchase some software that makes uploading my episodes easier. Right now I'm using a free trial, and I've run out of like free upload credits, whatever that means. But also next year, I want to do a series of stories, like birth stories, pregnancy stories, that kind of thing, in countries all around the world where the moms aren't necessarily expats. So, like, my only prerequisite really is that my guests are fluent in English or comfortable speaking in English, because that's the language my podcast is in, obviously. But I have a goal, and I don't know how realistic this is. It's probably not realistic at all. But I have a goal next year of trying to cover 50% of the world's countries, in terms of getting someone to come on and share their birth story, pregnancy story, etc. in their host country, whether they're an expat or whether they are a citizen of that country and they're just sharing their own local experience. So if you are if you've been following my channel, or if you're seeing this video for whatever reason and you happen to have given birth in any country really in the world that is not the US, actually, yeah, it could be the US, because I don't have actually a birth story from someone in the US yet. But I have so far covered the Netherlands, Germany. I've covered a little bit of South Africa, but not like fully. I've covered Sweden. I've covered Costa Rica. But really, I guess it could just be anywhere, because multiple stories in the same country can also provide some good information. So if you are interested in coming onto my show and sharing your pregnancy, birth story, postpartum, fertility journey, whatever, in the country that you birthed in, please email me or reach out to me on Instagram or comment below or whatever, and I will get in touch with you, because I would really love to ramp up my podcast and get some diversity. Right now, so far my episodes have really only been focused on Europe, because that's where all my friends are right now, is Europe. So reach out to me. That's my special announcement. So, and my 10.5-month update, etc. I'm sorry this has been a really disjointed video where I just ramble on and on, but I'm going to end the video now. But I'll be back in like a month or so to have another postpartum update. I am going to start the weaning process in something like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I'm going to start my weaning process on December 1st with the goal in mind of having my last pump in the final minutes of 2019, so that when we ring in the new year, I am done. So I'm really excited to log or document that whole process on my Instagram channel, which I'll put the link below in the comments or in the description. I think I'm going to do a countdown for every day in December, talking about either a tip or a trick or something I'm going to miss about pumping or something I'm not going to miss about pumping. I think I'm just going to commemorate every day of December as I count down to weaning. So I can't wait to log that. So if that's something you're interested in, you can go ahead and follow me there. But that's it. I'm going to end this video, and I will talk to you all soon. Okay, bye.